Hello Chesneyrites. Do you think world champions don't blunder? Think again. From Karpov to Kasparov to Carlsen, even the greatest minds in chess have made shocking blunders. Let me show you how. We are going to explore 8 unforgettable blunders, break down what went wrong, and learn how these mistakes turned the game upside down. Stay till to the end, and you might be surprised by the last one, where the world champion missed maiden one. So, let's get started with number 8. So, in this one, Carlsen has black pieces and he is playing against Grandmaster Artemiev in 2022 World Rapid Championship. So, Carlsen played the move knight e4. Looks like a very normal move. He just wants to exchange the knights. But this is a huge blunder and he lost the game because of that. So, he missed that Artemiev can play f4, attacking the queen. If the queen doesn't go to f5, then of course this knight will fall. And if the queen goes to f5, which is where Carlsen went, then Artemiev played g4. And now the material loss is inevitable because wherever the queen goes, the knight will be lost. So Carlsen played rook takes c3, but this also didn't save him. The game continued, and then Artemiev improved his rook's position. And then now, because the b6 pawn will also soon be lost, Carlsen resigned. What a dramatic blunder by Carlsen in World Rapid Championship. Now, let's go for the next one. So, this is from the game between Viswanathan Anand versus Garry Kasparov. Viswanathan Anand had white pieces and Garry Kasparov was black. So, Kasparov made a huge blunder in this position. By the way, he's up 2 pawns. He has an absolutely great position. And then he thought that, okay, I'm up in material. Let me try to exchange the pieces. Yeah, not a bad strategy, but he missed his opponent's response. So queen takes c3. He was thinking queen takes c3, knight takes c3, rook takes c3, and then everything gets exchanged. He is up 2 pawns. But just because he has captured something doesn't mean Anand has to capture that. And in this position, Anand played queen takes g4 to the complete surprise of Kasparov, because now the queen and the rook both are being attacked and the material loss is inevitable. Of course, Kasparov tried in this position. He castled in this and he gave up the queen. So it will still take a bit for Anand to convert this into a win. But of course, he's Anand. He's going to do that. He took this pawn and then queen d7. And then later on, he went on to win the game. Yeah, what a turnaround. Now, let's go to number 6. So this time, it is from the famous 1972 World Championship match, Fischer versus Spassky. So, and in this, Fischer had black pieces and Spassky was white. Spassky has a bit of a passive position because look at Fischer's active knight. These bishops are not doing much. So, Fischer had slightly better position, but nothing that Spassky can't handle. Something like, of course, the queen is being attacked. So, moving somewhere like maybe e3 or f3 or something like that. And the game goes on. It's an unpleasant position for Spassky. But as I said, nothing that he can't defend. But here, he made a shocking blunder. He played queen c2. Looks like a natural move at first. Okay, he's keeping everything defended and then, things are good. But he missed something that ended the game on the spot. That is, bishop takes a4. So, Fischer sacrifices the bishop with the idea of queen takes a4, queen takes e4. And Spassky actually resigned. This is a mate threat. So, yeah, there is no way Spassky was going to survive this. So, yeah, there's shocking blunder by him. And, of course, we know the result of the World Championship match. Eventually, Fischer beat Spassky and became the world champion. Now, let's look at another blunder. So, this time it is from another World Championship match, that is between Karpov versus Kasparov. So, Karpov had white pieces here and Kasparov was black. Let's try to understand this position a bit further. So, white is up a pawn, but they are double pawns. On the other hand, black's knight is It's a bit actively placed. Black has this pawn majority on the queen side. White has this pass pawn. White's rook is active. So we can say an imbalanced position, but still, a pawn is a pawn. So since Karpov has an extra pawn, he has better position. Now, he could just maybe play bishop b4. If the pawn goes c, bishop c3, he can try to target this. Although this knight is there, but it's not like there can be some ideas basically, because after, let's say, bishop b4, a5, bishop c3, bishop e5 in some cases would be the threat, because this bishop that would not be defended. So it would be creating some problems. And bishop b4, I'd say white retains some advantage, or at least the position would remain complicated. Not something that Karpov would lose. So Karpov in this position played rook c6. He's like, okay, that's fine. Let me just maintain the tension between the bishops. Let me bring the rook and then defend the bishop. So far so good? Yeah. But Karpov had missed a simple tactical idea of Kasparov. The game actually gets over. Knight a5. The backward knight move. Sometimes, even for the world champions, even for the best of the best, backward knight moves can be a bit tricky to see. And knight a5, and now material loss is inevitable, because wherever the rook goes, this bishop will go, and if bishop captures this, then this rook will go. The game went on for a bit. Bishop b6, bishop c7, and then he played rook f7, bishop d6, rook d7. He's not in a rush to capture that knight. And then knight f5 was played, and then later on Kasparov went on to win the game. Dramatic blunder by Karpov in the World Championship match. Now, let's look at number 4 blunder. So, this is, I think most of you watching this would have seen this position. This is from the recent World Championship match between, of course, World Champion Liren versus World Championship challenger at that time, Gukesh. And this was the last game of the match. The score was tied 6.5. Game 14. Liren is down. He has white pieces. He's down a pawn. Everyone was expecting this is to be a draw, because it's, despite having an extra pawn, it's not easy for Gukesh to convert. And then everyone was waiting, okay, it will be a draw and there will be tie breaks. But yeah, the blunder decided the World Championship match. Ding played rook f2. He's like, Gukesh's rook is active. Let's try to exchange that, and then it will be easy for him to draw. Yeah, but he missed the next move of Gukesh, that is bishop d5. So the bishop exchange is inevitable because the bishop is on a8, and after this king and pawn endgame is actually a loss for Ding. And in this position, Ding resigned, and Gukesh became the youngest world champion. So the main point is, if something like king d3, then there is f4. If this, then the king will get here, and then pawn will be pushed. And after f4, if something like this, then there is f3 check, and there should be even in some cases even this could be considered. So this is also yeah, he could have tried this. So yeah, king e5, and Ding Liren resigned. What a dramatic blunder! After king e5, if he had played something like rook a4, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to draw this. But yeah, the pressure of the World Championship match. Right. So now, number 3 blunder. Let's go ahead. So this time it is Karpov's game. So Karpov has black pieces and he's playing against Larry Christensen. So just 11 moves have happened, and Karpov played a natural development move. He played bishop d6. He's like, let's develop the bishop and then I'll castle. Yeah. So far so good. But there's a big problem, and one thing that we must never forget: undefended pieces are always weaknesses. Even world champions, if they forget, they can get punished like Karpov did in this. The knight is undefended, the bishop is undefended. Larry Christensen very calmly played the move queen d1, this and this, and Karpov resigned. What a loss in just 12 moves. And the main reason was undefended pieces. So you must always pay careful attention to such weaknesses in your position. It could be as early as move 12. The game could be decided and you could even be the world champion. But if you're not cautious, then such things can happen. So please pay attention to your own weaknesses. Now, let's go to number 2. So this time it is the game of Magnus Carlsen. So he has white pieces, and let's see. So he's playing against Grandmaster Trigalov, and let's try to understand this. The material seems to be equal. Drigalov's rook is a bit active. He's spinning this, but nothing too dramatic actually. I'd say Carlsen is under a bit of a pressure, but nothing that he can't handle. There are some Queen A4 type check type of ideas as well, can be, but it's not something that is a losing position for Carlsen, we can say. So here he made a shocking blunder actually. He played the move Queen G4, and he thought for 52 seconds. This was an online game, by the way, and he thought for 52 seconds before playing Queen G4. It was not an impulsive decision that he just made, okay, in a fraction of a second or something. It was an online game he played. No, 52 seconds. And he just blundered the rook. So maybe he missed that after this, the back rank actually gets covered or something, but just too much of a blunder, Carlsen. But yeah, even for the greatest of the greatest players, such lapses can happen. So, and then he resigned in this position. There is nothing much to play for. Now, the last blunder, the number one blunder, where the world champion missed maiden one. So, we are going to see that. So, please buckle up for that. This is the position, and black was world champion Vladimir Kramnik. So, and he was playing against the engine Deep Fritz at that time in 2006. So, and this is the position. Deep Fritz has white pieces, Kramnik is black. And of course, as it can be noticed, white is landing Queen H7 mate. And there is King G8, the king can escape, tag the knight. The position remains quite complicated actually, because white has this active queen, this knight is also there, this pass pawn is there. On the other hand, this pawn is under pressure, then there are these two pawns. Maybe black can try to do something like that later. So it's extremely complicated battle ahead after King G8. So, but then, to everyone's surprise, and such a shocking blunder, Kramnik played Queen E3. He's like, okay, I'll exchange the queens, and then I'll push my pass pawn, and I should be able to win. So, and if the queen moves, then there is this back rank mate. That's what he thought, but he just missed mate in one. Just a complete oversight. Just mate in one. World champion missing that. But that's what chess is. Whoever you are, if you're not focusing on that moment, if you don't look at your opponent's ideas carefully, if you don't pay careful attention to your own weaknesses, then you are going to get punished. Chess is an extremely humbling game. So, want to avoid blunders in your own games? Start the 7-day free trial on Chess Neurons, where you can train with our unique Identify the Blunder feature. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.